I am so glad you're here. Congratulations. You don't have to be a genius to go live and have 102 episodes. My name is Bren Harris, and it is not an accident you're here. You are here for such a time as this. I founded Warrior Moms by Bren in the Warrior Nation when my son was medically injured as a baby at 22 months of age. And I was the one that took him to the appointment. And I know that there are people here that need to hear this story. It's not my most comfortable thing, but in the last, 12 plus years, we have walked through hell to reverse those effects. Now we walk through it like we own the place and take water back to those still in the fire. And you can too. Hear me, warriors. Your story matters. I'm so glad you're here. Please let us know in the chat where you're chiming in from. If you threw a dart at the middle of the US, that's right where we are. And it is cold here. Let us know if you're where you're chiming in from. Georgia in the house, Seattle in the house. Good to see you guys. And I am looking at multiple screens, so bear with me. Oh, Morocco in the house. Good to see you guys. We have been doing this a little bit, just over a year, and I don't have a whole lot of stats for you tonight. I just thought it's a new year. Let's unzip our heart and sort of share our journey with you. And I don't have all the answers. And when I say parent your way, for us, that's medical freedom and medical choice. And I'm here to say you do have a choice. As a parent, as a grandparent, you have a choice. Just because someone says it's, their way or the highway and they're an expert doesn't mean that's the only answer. And we have sort of drawn our own path. We don't go to traditional school. And we don't do the brick and mortar. I don't do a 9 to 5. We do what we call world schooling. And we are finding that Montessori is not just for little kids. My son is now a teenager, and he is pretty much our personal chef. We have found the perfect, healthy, aluminum-free air fryer, toaster oven that he can fix anything in. And the other day I was grilling steaks on the panini grill on the cooktop, and he goes, "Move over." And I'm like, "Okay, if you're going to use your words, I'll do whatever you want." And he is nonverbal, diagnosed nonverbal, and autism spectrum disorder level 3, which theoretically is lifelong care. And we are seeing such beautiful healing and beautiful strides. Now, if you have a neurotypical child and this doesn't resonate with you, maybe you can share this with someone who does. As of this broadcast, boys are being diagnosed 1 in 36. And that number is absolutely coming down. I heard 1 in 24, but I do know the statistic for 2024 is boys are 1 in 36. And this is an epidemic. And I want you to hear my heart. I'm a firm believer, if we complain or blame, we remain. If we praise, we will raise. So I am here to say we're here to find freedom, clarity, and power so that you can parent your way. And again, we use American Sign Language. Hey guys, good to see you. And I am looking at multiple screens. So yes, we do have a choice. And just because someone says that's the only way to do something doesn't mean it's the only way to do something. Our favorite phrase at our house, who says, what's the workaround? Who says, what's the workaround? I want you to hear my voice. Hear me, warriors. Who says, what's the workaround? Now, our first word for tonight is freedom. And you're going to sort of do a letter F, and then you're going to cross in front. Freedom. Almost like a dance move. Freedom. And freedom is free from imprisonment or enslavement. Now, I know everyone has an opinion on the current state of our health system. And that's okay, because we can play in the same sandbox and get along even if we don't have the same opinions. Now, I'm going to show a couple of antonyms, and that means opposites. Freedom, antonyms, enslaved, imprisoned. If we believe that the only way to parent every single child and have a one-size-fits-all health choice, then we are enslaved to something and imprisoned in a thought, a school of thought that doesn't work for every single child. And if me sharing our story can help one family avoid the heartache and the devastation that we have known these last 12 years, then more power to you. This is a recent picture after we've been detoxing almost 11 years. And this is my son on an outing. And we are the Warrior Nation. We are a 20,000 strong movement in half a dozen countries. And we are here to say, you are not alone. If you want to parent outside the bell curve or outside what's, considered acceptable, then you're in the right place, because we're here to show you that you have choices. Okay. And like I said, we're doing 3 different words. Our next word is clarity. And this is vision, absolute, and it's like the clouds parting. Super simple. Clarity. And a few opposites of clarity: confusion and difficulty. Oh, who can relate? I mean, if you're on the live, put an L. If you're on the replay, put an R in the chat. And I mean, seriously, let's look at that one more time. We're looking at the opposite of clarity is confusion and difficulty. I was steeping in confusion and difficulty when this happened to us all those years ago. The school wouldn't listen, the doctors wouldn't listen, so I fired both of them. And I found the right place for my son to be able to learn. And that's not always a possibility. I mean, I've always joked my whole life, we're going to world school. And that's pretty much what we're doing. We had a snow day, so we studied snow. We found low VOC, volatile organic compound paint. And we did a home improvement project while we had the snow days. And we're just taking life and making those lessons. Now, if you can relate at any time, or if you get value, let us know in the chat. Here's another power. We're going to look at power and an antonym for power. Antonyms are helpless and hopeless. And that's exactly where I was. So my mission in life is to empower. So take a C to your non-dominant bicep and just bring it forward. Empower. And that's make stronger, more confident. We are here to empower parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, that you have a choice in how your child is raised, or your niece or your nephew or your grandparent. And if you feel like the school is telling you they can't come to class if they don't have these injections, or they can't come to school if they don't have this, it's garbage. Every single state in the entire US accepts medical exemptions. So don't let them snow you on any of this. Now, one of my mentors talks about this often. We can turn our problems into projects. So I spent a number of years steeping in my problem. I waited. I had my life in order, financially stable. We were older parents. And I'm like, this is going to be amazing. And then my son was medically injured. And that happens more times than we can count. Now, the government has a federal reimbursement slush fund. It's over $5 billion. And I will show you in an event I'm having at the end of the month how you can tap into that as well. Now, I told you that we world school. This is one of our field trips that we love. This is my son. Before we went to the Groovy Loop earplugs, he has the big ear defenders on. And this is one of the field trips we did a few months ago. And we are learning that wherever we are, we can make it a learning activity. It doesn't matter where we are. If we're taking a medical trip out of state, we're finding interesting landmarks along the way so that we're learning. And even when someone's nonverbal, that does not mean they're non-hearing or non-listening. Unless they're a teenager, they may not listen all the time. Now, I am so excited to share this with you. I'm sure you guys remember the show Friends, and Ross always had his secret language. Well, that's the sign for advocate. An advocate is here. Now you can see my son has hit puberty, so he is much taller than me. Advocate, a voice for the voiceless. Now, I am here to let you know I don't have all the answers. I am not a perfect parent. I am the warrior mom, trademarked by the way. And we have lit fire, metaphorically, of course, to a movement of over 20,000 people in more than half a dozen countries of the warrior nation. And the warrior nation is all about being pro parent choice. And an advocate is merely a voice for the voiceless. And that comes straight out of Proverbs in the Old Testament. We're here to be a voice for the voiceless. Hey guys, good to see you. Yeah, the world is our classroom. Yes, you are right. And, I am so excited. Hey, guys, it looks like California, Northern California is in the house. Prayers to everyone in California, North Carolina, um, and the people who have survived the hurricanes. And what I'm learning is that I don't have all the answers. Now, when my son was first diagnosed, I was that mom. Oh, I'm going to get teary. I was that mom that was in the kitchen floor in the fetal position. I mean, I just melted like the old cartoon characters. I just melted down the stairs. I mean, I was like in the fetal position, sobbing my heart out. And I thought, this is so unfair. I thought I did everything the way I was supposed to do. I already had a career. I already had the nest egg. I already had a stable relationship. And this happens. And I'm like, okay, sometimes we need to learn to pivot. Again, we go back to friends. Yes, pivot. Yes, that's exactly how I felt. I mean, I was screaming, what am I going to do? Because it wasn't fair. It isn't fair because I'm a firm believer, follow the money. And when we follow the money, it shows that nothing's been tested and that we're here to let parents know they have a choice. Now, one of the things I love about turning problems into projects is that both words start with the letters P-R-O, pro. Now, we can be a pro at our problems or we can be a pro at our projects. We have chosen. Now, I won't say that I did this voluntarily. Life squeezed me until I just said, okay, God, let me know what you want me to do because this is not what I signed up for. And we started looking at it as a project. And a project means, hey, there's a solution, there's an improvement, there's a way to be healthy in spite of maybe a medical injury or a genetic predisposition. Now, that brings me to my next point, and I will go more in depth in the event I'm going to let you know about in the end. Um, but we have done some genetic testing, and we know that my son has the it's probably about a 27-letter word, MTHFR. MTHFR. We jokingly refer to it as a mother trucker gene. Well, he didn't get just one. He got one from mom, one from dad, perfect storm. And that means he cannot detox himself of everyday toxins. And his body isn't able to convert folic acid, which is man-made, synthetic version of folate, into folate so that it can be absorbable and usable to detox his body. So we have partnered with a nutritionist and we have done the home test, and now we're doing another repeat. Once I find one that I absolutely adore, I will definitely list it in the comments. And what that does is think of it like GPS. GPS, we plug it in, smartphone, everybody's got one. And we plug it in we consistently need to put in our current location because we need to know where we're starting from. And when we're starting from here, that's how we know how to get from point A to point B. Well, that's what these genetic tests do. It's a simple Q-tip swab on your cheek, nothing creepy. And you send it off, you have the results in about 7 days, and it shows you the different genetic markers that might interfere with your nutritional absorption. And I think this is fascinating because I have gone to doctors for a genetic issue for years and took injections for years for a blood clot disorder. No one bothered to tell me that I could change it through lifestyle and nutrition. And I'm going, We need to be shouting this from the mountaintops. And it's so easy and so simple. And there are groups. Please reach out if you want to be involved. And we are here to say that we don't always have all the answers, but what we do know is that where there's a way, we will find it. Now, the next time you're faced with an obstacle, remember it's just a speed bump. It is not a mountain. It may feel like a mountain, but I want you to think with me. Hear me, warriors. I want you to think with me. What's that one thing, that one time in your life you thought you would never make it through? And now it's in the rearview mirror and you've made it through and you're thriving. Okay, think of that. And that's where we are. There's always, hear me, there's always a workaround. Okay, quick recap. Freedom. We're going to do the letter F and just cross in front. Freedom, kind of like the eagle wings, freedom. Okay. And freedom is free from imprisonment or enslavement, indoctrination, all of that. And then clarity is like the clouds parting. Super easy. Clarity. Clarity is making sure that we are free from confusion or difficulty, because when we see the vision, we can map from point A to point B. Okay. And then empower. Take your C to your non-dominant bicep and bring it forward. Empower. And that's to make stronger, more confident. And when we have knowledge is power, but wisdom is knowledge applied. Hear me. Knowledge is power, but wisdom is knowledge applied. Now that we're applying this knowledge, that's wisdom. And that is when we are informed. You don't need to go through what we went through. A quick story. When my son entered 7th grade, it was our second year at that middle school. And we walked up for the first day of school, and they would not let us in the building. They said, he has not had these shots and he is not allowed in the building. Well, we already knew our rights. So we knew that was bogus, but that's what had been handed down. Each level, shit rolls downhill. The top person said it, the next person communicated it to the next level and the next level, and it rolls down to the teacher. God bless y'all. You put up with so much. And they don't know what they're quoting isn't law. And it's so important to know that you have choices and your vaccine status is protected by HIPAA. Please make sure your teachers know that. And last but not least, when we're not on platforms like this where we get censored all the time, we are going to take this offline to a private VIP free online masterclass. Take back your right to parent your way. And that's Tuesday, January 28th at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And we are going to dig deep. We will be talking about the exemptions for each state. We will be talking about nutrition as well as mental health for both the parent and the child. And I am so excited for you to experience freedom, clarity, and feel empowered. Warriors, unite.